Sri Lankan's perspective, they are not part of the Champions Trophy, so the build-up will be for the 2027 50-over World Cup to get the combinations right, get the personals right. And that man on screen has been in magnificent form. Pathum Nissanka has been go-to man for Sri Lanka in the batting lineup, so he will play a crucial role going forward against a formidable side.
Yeah, I think you're right. With Sri Lanka's opening batsman, it is more important than perhaps any other game for a while that they get their team off to a good start. The last thing they want is to lose a couple early. They'll think back to, was it the Asia Cup final, where also the feeling of here we go again. That's what they have to avoid. India, conversely, will want those early wickets to try and put that doubt back into the minds of this Sri Lankan side. The India will know that the top three were very, very good in the T20I series. It was the middle order and lower middle order that struggled. So for them, they'll want to get amongst that group of batsmen early, and it starts with Nissanka, who I thought played nicely up in Kandy.
A man in form for sure. And Avishka Fernando will be partnering Pathum Nissanka, top of the order. Had a very good LPL, but missed out in the ODI series up in Pallakali. It's a massive opportunity for him as well. Average just lurking around 32. Is far better player than having average of 32. And this man on screen played last time at Arapinal Stadium at a day to remember.
He picked up 6 wickets, didn't he, in that match, of course. 10 scores above 50 for Avishka Fernando out of 39. So that side of things is very good. It's just looking at numbers and nothing else. You would say once he gets a start, he does put in big contributions. Here we go, Mohammad Siraj. A little bit of movement back into the batsman, and that's what they have to be careful of. Has the ability to move the ball off a good length.
Yeah, usually Mohammad Siraj takes it away from the right-hander. That's why 2 slips are in place. For this occasion, I just felt there was some seam movement. A wobbly seam, massive gap between the pad and the bat, and lucky Pathum Nissanka. Good length to start by Siraj.
Yeah, I was out there for the pitch report, and that was the first thing I noticed. I thought it could be a little tacky to begin with, so any seam or spin just might hold in the pitch a little. And there won't be a lot of that, and that is bounce. Watching the bowlers warm up, they were 3 or 4 pitches across to the leg side of Nissanka, and the ball was flying through. Wobbly seam once more.
This might help some seam bowling as well. Because conditions are a bit cloudy, and fast bowlers do love with the new ball, especially if there is any help from the surface.
Nicely fielded by the captain. Just a little bit of a long half volley. Not as express pace as yet, just 130 kilometres an hour. Important in these situations, as I say, with the weather potentially coming in, but changes for both sides. I do like the inclusion of Willalagate, and I say that because having been here for the LPL last season, he was a real fight and showed a lot of guts when his team was in trouble, and those are the sort of players at the moment I think Sri Lanka need. Nicely played. First runs of the ODI, and it's a beautiful cut shot for Nissanka for 4.
Dragging the length back, Mohammad Siraj. Don't think he was anticipating to do that. In these kind of pitches, which is slow, he just sits up, and Pathum Nissanka, the form he has been in, he's not going to miss out. Middle of the bat. The booster for the young.
All away and defend those. Good length. He should take a lot of confidence from that T20I series. Got the width. Didn't look to hit it too hard. Made sure the placement was in the gap. Everything's spot on.
And also batting out of the crease to negate any seam or swing movement which Siraj may get. So that's something Pathum Nissanka does a lot in white ball cricket.
little bit of breeze about, isn't there, coming from over the left-hand side of the pavilion we are in. There's that sea movement once more. End of the first over, though. Boundary only off it, 4 without loss.
Look at it for tonight, please.
Oh, these numbers could mean...
Glory for Great Britain!
Just the person I wanted to see. Stay, Susan.
There's power when you play. Power to change her life, his life, their lives. Even this, fellas. By playing the National Lottery, we've helped fund Team GB's and Paralympics GB's journey. The National Lottery, changing lives every day.
4 without loss after the first over. And it will be Arshdeep, who these days is a fixture in the T20 side. So Arshdeep with just 7 ODIs to his name, looking to build on his T20 form. Another player who I think really relishes the death overs in the T20 game, which will stand him in good stead with the one-dayers. The players for India wearing the black armbands, you can see it there on the right, on the left shoulder of Virat Kohli. And that, of course, is for the sad passing away of former Indian coach Anshuman Gaikwad. Great servant of Indian cricket and a popular man in cricket circles as well. So great respect shown by this current Indian side. Very good delivery. More than 12,000 first-class runs for Anshuman Gaikwad in his playing days. 40 tests, 15 ODIs with more than 2,000 runs as well. Gritty 81 versus the West Indies. Well, that would be a gritty 81 versus that West Indian bowling attack in Jamaica. There were no helmets, so bravery and toughness, a major part of cricket in those days. And he had to have an operation after being hit by a Michael Holding bouncer. Incredible stories from those days, isn't it?
It's an important series for Avishka Fernando. The last time when Sri Lanka played an ODI series up in Bangladesh, he did play all the 3 games up there where Sri Lanka lost 2-1. If I remember right, he scored a 33 in the first game and he missed out in the next 2 games. And ever since then he missed out in the World Cup. Played very well in the LPL. Now he's getting another break, so it's very important for him to tighten up his initial with the new ball.
He gets his innings off the mark as well. Yeah, it's an interesting point you make, because it's easy when you're losing. That's the form you're talking about. He had a pretty good overall record, but just the last couple of years have been a bit of a struggle. 250s only. Yeah, when you're in a rut like this, I think the worst thing you can do is make a lot of changes. Somehow you need to find your best players, or who you believe your best players are. See the big difference between his career record and the last 18 months or so, and stick to them. Try and show some faith, take away the fear of being dropped.
I heard a lot about left arm seamers. That's where he's shown some sort of a weakness, which has worked a lot, that I know for a fact. But if he can get through the initial barrier of facing a left arm seamer, and any natural batter who's been having issues against a particular bowler, will always remember that you just have to get through the system first. So if he gets through this, that'll be a major win. And he's a quality player. Out of 39 games, 3 centuries already. It's a massive opportunity. First few overs, just have a look and then make it big as much as possible.
They should pick up another couple as well. It's a quick outfield. Nicely tucked away. At the end of the over, there will be 3 runs from it. 7 without loss.
Looking for a new home, car, or paying back a loan? Your credit score could be making things more expensive. But getting the right assistance makes all the difference. Credit Karma has supported more than 100 million members worldwide. It doesn't hurt to check. Discover your score for free and learn how to improve it. Credit Karma. Download the free Credit Karma app now.
Solid start for Sri Lanka so far. A couple of changes for them in their side. Sadira Samra Wickrama, Yanagay, Walalagay as well. I do want to touch on one player who I was a little surprised wasn't in that Sri Lankan side after the way he played on debut up in Kandy in the third T20I, Wickramasinghe. Also an all-rounder with promise. Were you surprised that he wasn't given more of an opportunity, maybe with the results Sri Lanka have had, that he could be a player they could bring in and try and develop over the next 12 months or so?
But that was, in my opinion, there was a tussle between Chamik Karunaratne and Chamik Wickramasinghe. Both are bowling all-rounders. I feel with Chamik Karunaratne as well as being out of the system for a while, he's before the 2020 series was done. It was almost certain that Chamik Karunaratne will make that squad, and almost you have occasion where Chamik Wickramasinghe did bowl really well and made headlines. But I just feel Chamik Karunaratne does deserve a go, and give him opportunity since Dasun Shanaka and Angelo Matthews are not in the ODI setup anymore. That's important that he's not playing today, but when he gets the opportunity to grab with both hands, and that's what you like to have, competition among players, two players fighting for one spot, and that will get the best out of each players.
That's a good point you make around experience too. Just 26 ODIs. If you'd asked me off the top of my head, I would have felt like he'd played more. Oh, he's picked it up. There could be a chance at third man, and it's taken. Siraj with the link. A little bit of movement. And another failure for Avishka Fernando.
Avishka Fernando, that was quite a strange shot. The third over of the innings. The ball was swinging away from the right hand. The toe slips in place and tried to whip it cross towards mid-wicket. Fourth off stump, corridor of uncertainty, as you say. Speaking about grabbing the opportunity with both hands when the opportunity has been given, and throws it away, Avishka Fernando, unfortunately. Gone for one, Sri Lanka, 7 for 1.
Allianz Car and Home Insurance. Get your quote today at Allianz.
So Sri Lanka have lost their first wicket. Kusal Mendes, another player who showed us a lot up in Kandy in the T20I series with a job to do, but I'm with you in that it was a loose stroke. Both batsmen, I thought, had navigated the first 2 overs really well, just showing some respect to the Indian bowlers up front. So Kusal Mendes will now have an opportunity. Another player with an early 30s average. Strike rates these days are pretty good, somewhere in that 85 to 90 range. A lot of experience, 29 50s, 300s. 2 slips still in place. And that is a cracking delivery to get first up.
It's amazing how after a wicket, any fast bowler comes in, the follow-up delivery bowls a Jaffa. This was a low stroke. Corridor of uncertainty just outside the yaw stump. 2 slips in play, swinging it away. Try to whipping it across towards mid-wicket. Soft dismissal, that has been the problem right through, not only in the T20 series as well as before. Batsman getting out for soft dismissals, not helping the cause, trying to build up a score, put a score in the board, when it's especially batting first.
That's a good point too, because always liken it to driving a car. And at the moment, I think Sri Lanka are either driving their car in the first gear or the fifth gear. There's that no in between. He's got his line and length going nicely, hasn't he? That's the pace you were talking about after a wicket, 137. Been operating in the early 130s so far. And doesn't he have some success and like playing against Sri Lanka?
The last couple of deliveries, he went wide of the crease, angling it in and swinging it away. That's some tactic he especially used, if I remember right, in the Asia Cup final over here, even the World Cup game up in Mumbai. Especially right-hander trying to play the yang, and all of a sudden ball moving away off the seam.
That's nicely played. Had to resist turning it to the leg side. 7 for 1.
Look at it for tonight, please.
Oh, these numbers could mean.
Glory for Great Britain!
Just the person I wanted to see. Stay, Susan.
There's power when you play. Power to change her life. His life. Their lives. Even this, fellas. By playing the National Lottery, we've helped fund Team GB's and Paralympics GB's journey. The National Lottery. Changing lives every day.
Start for India. Picked up that early wicket of Avishka Fernando. And Arshdeep, his line was good. I felt he was a little short. And when you think of all the great left armers around at the moment, around the world. Oh, there's that loose shot again. All or nothing. I always feel that the left armers need to be brave. Nice and full. Get the ball up there, elicit the drive. A little bit of movement away. Even that perhaps can be a little fuller. You've got to be risk being driven for 4, and that's where the ball swinging back creates the gap between the bat and the pad, or you get the outside edge. Right there, perfect.
When it doesn't swing back to the right hand, it just goes with the angle. That's what happened in the first ball, and good to see the carry through to KL Rahul to the waist high. The following up delivery just on the right length and the line. Not much pace to speak about, 130 clicks, but the lengths have been really good as an opening batter against the left arm fast bowler who's swinging back in. That's a nightmare to face, especially the one you don't know, which was going with the angle and batting out of the crease as expected. That's something Pathum Nissanka does quite often. He's not sure about the swing and the seam movement. He comes out of the crease and tries to negate it. Initial testing period, Siraj and Arshdeep has been bowling really well in the last few months. And it's going to be testing times. And this was the previous over. Beg your pardon, the first over. A couple of deliveries outside the yaw stump, nipping back in. That was the last over. Yeah, Avishka Fernando's dismissal. Yeah, that's quite a shot, and then right to the crease. A couple of beautiful deliveries to Kusal Mendis.
Just every now and again there's a bit of bounce, isn't it? India have started this match well. Good line and lengths once more. There's that nip away you were talking about.
That's not the angle. That's nipping away from the right-hander. So you got to swing him back in, going away with off the seam, and then with the angle as well. So as a batter, you got to be up your game. You need to be equal to the task.
Yeah, that's one of those deliveries as a batsman. You just say, well bowled, you've not done anything wrong, and move on to the next delivery. Tip your cap to the bowler, respect what he's doing. With that, another slip will come into place. Virat Kohli will move to second slip. Picked up over the leg side. It's gone square enough. Another boundary for Nissanka.
Yeah, first run after 10 deliveries. On the 10th delivery. Down the left side. That's one ball before was the extra cover fielder. Virat Kohli got his second slip, and Arshdeep Singh and hit the front pad, swinging in. good shot by Pathum Nissanka. Good balance and whipping it across, and had no intention to keep the ball around the ground.
Gone over the offside this time. Not perfectly timed. Skipper will track it down. They'll pick up another 2. 6 runs from the over, 13 for 1.
Looking for a new home, car, or paying back a loan? Your credit score could be making things more expensive. But getting the right assistance makes all the difference. Credit Karma has supported more than 100 million members worldwide. It doesn't hurt to check. Discover your score for free and learn how to improve it. Credit Karma. Download the free Credit Karma app now.
Sri Lanka looking to find a winning formula. They are up against a very, very good white ball team in India at the moment, who are at the top of their game. Doesn't get any tougher than this, and Sri Lanka have to remember that. They're up against the best in the business. It will be Siraj again, who's picked up the 1 wicket so far.
Continue to bowl wide of the crease to Kusal Mendes. In the second over that he bowled, he did this very, very well. First ball to Avishka Fernando, the same area, and then he started going wide of the crease, and the third delivery was the wicket delivery. Wicket of Avishka Fernando. And all 3 deliveries to Kusal Mendes to finish the over was almost similar. So these are the tactics used against individual batters. Goes to show the confidence level of a bowler is definitely having the game raised and know what he does with the new ball.
I thought that analysis showed us another thing too. He's got a very high arm action. Comes over the top, which means he can get that extra bounce. It's easy trying to bowl outswingers to be a little round arm, but Siraj gets the ball to swing late like that. Outstanding.
It's just a masterclass as a batter. You just have to applaud, said well bowled. Nothing much you could do. 2 sips in place, that's Shreyas Iyer and Virat Kohli. What he does have is a very good seam position. Wrist is very, very good, and he pulls it down and lovely seam position. It's ideal for outswing bowling. Mohammad Shami reminds me of his seam position as the best, and Mohammad Siraj not too far behind.
He's just got to be patient as well, which he has been so far. Leave the ball there, the edge will come. Good news for Sri Lanka there. Maybe you've got Shivam Dubey to bowl seam. That is nicely played, waited late. And settle for the single. There is no Hardik Pandya in this side who could have bowled in these conditions, which is helping the fast bowlers. They often say though, when it seems it spins, how early will Rohit Sharma turn to those spinners? He has 3 at his disposal. Very good record. More than a wicket and a half every time he plays a game, which is exactly what you're after.
There's enough off the seam, especially at R. Prendas Stadium. You just have to hit those areas more often as a fast bowler.
Oh, this could be tight. Just went a little too far down. I think the bowler got in the way. Fieldsman did not want to let go, Shubman Gill. And it was a little bit of a tame throw in the end because he didn't want the throw to end up hitting the bowler. Just have a look. Right over the top.
No damage done in the end. Kusal Mendes getting back with ease and straight away apologizing to Pathum Nissanka. Pathum Nissanka, in all honesty, straight away said no. For some reason, Kusal Mendes just kept on running.
Such good bowling at the moment from Siraj. Just the 5 runs conceded almost at the end of his 3rd over. And this is where in a batting situation you just have to show some respect. It's conditions at the moment A little bit of cloud cover, so there is some movement. It's not a pitch you can stand and simply hit through the line. Half-hearted appeal to finish the 5th over, 14 for 1. And that's the Siraj destruction we were talking about earlier. 6 for 21. Completely one-sided Asia Cup final a year ago. All out for 50. Not even sure the lights had come on that evening of these.
In my house?
In anyone's house.
Definitely a day to remember, a day to forget for Sri Lanka. That day, I thought even the crowd's massive hope that Sri Lanka could do something, all of a sudden it was just bamboozled by this man. Bowled so well, swung the ball late, and almost became unplayable. And just to finish off, Hardik Pandya picked up 3 wickets as well. 3 for 3. For Sri Lanka to get a decent score, I think this partnership is going to be very crucial. Both men in form from the LPLs to the T20 series up in Pallakele. Yes, correctly said, sorry. When the bowlers are bowling well, just have some patience. Just let go the bowler bowl at you rather than trying to chase it away. Then there is some moment.
Interestingly, Rohit Sharma mentioned at the toss he felt the ball or the pitch will slow up, maybe turn quite a bit later on this evening. So with perhaps this tackiness in the surface, it may well hold up, or remains to be seen whether that moisture will go.
I felt the same looking at the pitch just before the play. It is dry here on top, but underneath you could see from the color of the pitch there may be some moisture underneath with the amount of rain has been falling around Colombo. And this pitch was used during the LPL, the qualifier 2, which happened on the 20th of July. It was a high scoring pitch. I'll definitely feel that it will get slower once the ball loses the hardness, the shine, and it won't be a bad option to try it out. A spinner, especially Akshar Patel, who loves to bowl with the new ball with his side, may get some good bounce.
Oh, just tempted. It's been patient so far for Kusal Mendis, just the solitary single. Yeah, I'd be tempted in some ways. We know that Akshar Patel bowls in power plays. You see that in T20 cricket all the time. Wanted to go at it, not far away from the bottom of the bat. Kuldeep Yadav is back. And Washington Sundar. You'd imagine it will be Akshar with the 2 right-handers at the crease. But he's not a big turner of the ball. As mentioned earlier, that when it seems it spins, some ways I'd want a bowler that could actually turn it early. Oh, across that close.
A couple of deliveries went across Kusal Mendis, seemed way, and the last delivery just came back in. Not a good sign when these gentlemen have a stroll around the covers. They sense it better than anybody else. And hopefully it's just a passing cloud and we won't have any interruptions. Is it?
Yeah, we saw them go early, didn't we, in Kandy, and they were right, the rain came. Hopefully they're wrong. Nicely played and in the gap. Beautiful cover drive to finish the 6th over, 19 for 1.
Looking for a new home, car, or paying back a loan? Your credit score could be making things more expensive. But getting the right assistance makes all the difference. Credit Karma has supported more than 100 million members worldwide. It doesn't hurt to check. Discover your score for free and learn how to improve it. Credit Karma. Download the free Credit Karma app now.
Well, it's a very, very cautious start for Sri Lanka. 19 for 1 in 6 overs. Already lost Avishka back in the side. Out for 1, so Nissanka and Kusal Mendis very watchful. Nissanka's looked good. He's got 3 fours already. But Kusal Mendis, on the other hand, has been a real struggle because this man Siraj has been brilliant. He's been jagging that ball back into the right-hander a lot from a good length or just back of a length.
Yes, Roshan, not without reason has this been a circumspect start from Sri Lanka. Nissanka has looked in some sublime touch, bringing all the confidence from the T20s into the one-dayers. The ball's in his arc. He's trying to score runs with a positive intent. Scored the most runs as an opener since 2020 in ODIs, 2,168 runs and a stunning average of 50. Healthy strike rate as well for one-day cricket.
What about that list? What about the names on that list? He's got some really big ones, and it's great to be on top of that tree.
I've always maintained Pathum Nissanka is someone who's of immense talent and someone I believe will serve Sri Lankan cricket for a very, very long time. You know, although short and in stature, packs a powerful punch. His technique is very, very good for an opening bat. Plays the new ball well, and he's got his strategies in place.
2 slips in. This time he gets very close to the stumps. He was going wide of the crease to Kusal Mendis. That's a wide. But to Pathum Nissanka, he appears to be getting close to the stumps. He's having those 2 slips. Might be looking to get that outswinger going.
Roshan, what's actually quite nice to see with Pathum is that, you know, he comes inside the line of the ball. He's one of those traditional kind of opening batters who looks to get inside the line of the ball, which you don't see very much in today's cricket. The batters like to stand slightly beside the line of the ball, outside of it, so that they can throw their hands into the ball. He likes to play the ball in the center of his body, tries to get behind it. And that way what you do is you actually negate the swing, the seam quite a bit. You're a little bit more in control, you know, you're not just being flashy with your hands. As you can see, yeah, he likes to play it from the center of his body, right under his eyes. He plays close to his body as well. And
You're speaking about Pathum Nissanka, the player. You're right. He plays under his eyes. He gets very close. Now, he started off playing Test cricket and one-day cricket both. So I guess that the tightness of the technique could come with the Test cricket he played. But now he's kind of given up Test cricket and now he's more white ball player. But you could see that he's brought that game into this this version too.
yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things with Pathum is that, you know, I think from what I've understood is that his father was his coach and coached him from a very young age. So clearly a traditional method of coaching, which has gone a long way in forming his game. You can see his numbers there. 56 ODIs, that's his favorite format. You know, averages 44 there, best over 210. And that is no mean feat in ODI cricket.
He's very good there. Anything short and wide, he's pounced on. That's another boundary. And he's been hitting them quite square. And he's timed it well. Saw it, waited for it, and then the execution.
Yeah, erring slightly in line there. Siraj, scramble seam, wasn't very short, just a little back of a length. But for someone of Pathum Nissanka's height, he can take absolute advantage of it. Becomes more of a cut shot delivery for him. And that's exactly what he did. Again, you can see how well he got on top of that ball, hit it into the ground, used the square to create a little bit more pace behind that ball, and beat Aksar there at point for another boundary.
Final ball of the over. Oh, that time. That's been an area that he's been just pushing at deliveries around that length. 7 done, 25 for 1. For 1, Nissanka 20, Kusal Mendis 3. Spoke about the bowling, the lines of Siraj. He's been very good with that in swing.
This ball, you can see Pathum was actually anticipating that ball to go away from him, Roshan, which is why he played away from his body. But Siraj, and the danger that Siraj brings into any attack with the new ball is that this exact delivery. The fact that the ball will shape away from you but pitch and come back into the batter.
Oh, lucky that time.
Mendes has started off a little scratchy here. Feet movement very minimal. You can see all hands, very unlike how he was batting in Candy actually. Candy was a lot more assured of his footwork, and I think his mindset, there's a shift in the mindset perhaps, Roshan. The fact that in T20 cricket he's trying to be more aggressive, but here he's trying to bat for time because there's so many balls to play.
Also, I felt that Arshdeep got the ball to go away from the right hand. He was generally bringing it back. Well, ball, that's a good bouncer. Good bouncer. He's mixed it up, but called a wide, but still, it was good. He changed it up.
Yeah, that was going to be too short for Pathum, for someone of Pathum's side. It's always going to be a wide ball. Banged it in. Yeah. Only 2 feet above Pathum's side.
I think Pathum Nissanka was waiting for the one that get pitched up because he was bowling that length all the time. Now, what Arshdeep has done is he's moved that slip very wide. He had a very fine slip, now a very wide slip, just a solitary slip.
Again, getting the batsman mentally prepared for perhaps the one leaving him, but again bowling the one that shapes back into the right-hander. The beauty about one-day cricket, Roshan, I think, is the fact that there's 2 new balls that are at play. Keeps the first 10 overs pretty honest with for the batters. They got to respect that new ball, at least for those first 5 overs from each end, and then they can give themselves that chance to score runs.
Yeah, it's made a huge difference, isn't it? The 2 new balls. From the days where it was a single ball, just getting into those 2 new balls, always a fresh and a newish ball for the bowlers with a more prouder seam. So there's always a chance for the bowlers.
Certainly. And you can see this wicket as well, Sean. I think it's what we heard about this wicket also was that it was pretty dry, and there was not much grass on it. And you can tell by the way the wicket's behaving as well that the ball's kind of holding up just a touch on this wicket. So it's not coming onto the bat where the batsman can play and hit through the line, so to speak. They have to wait and kind of hit the ball on top of it to be able to score runs. So they have to be a little bit more technically correct to be able to score runs on this wicket. You can see the wicket, it's already dusty.
Nicely worked. Oh, dropped. For a moment I didn't think it will carry. It went all the way to Siraj, who made a very good effort. Very lucky Pathum Nissanka.
The beauty of a well-timed leg glance. It could go all the way, and this time he timed it so well. It took no pace off the ball. In fact, perhaps added a little bit pace more onto the ball. You can see back into the right-hander, and yeah, just clipped it, added a little pace to it. Siraj throwing himself, reached the ball. Unfortunately, in that roll, got displaced from his hands. Yeah, the roll, top effort given the conditions here. I can tell you it's very warm and humid out here, so that effort is top-notch.
Could see that. You could see this. This was a very similar surface I thought we had even in Pallekele come the third T20. So that's why I feel winning these two tosses was so important. Charit Asalanka couldn't have done a greater favour.
Absolutely. It's a very similar wicket to Pallekele in the third T20I. Dry, dusty. It's not coming on to the fast bowlers. It's that freedom to play through the line doesn't exist for the batters against the fast bowlers.
This is brilliant. This is really brilliant. 28 for 1. $28 for 1. The start has been cautious, that's understandable. It's been challenging. Right, now this is going to be very interesting. Akshar Patel, 60 wickets, best of 3 for 24. Now this is going to be a very interesting phase of cricket. Two right-handers against Akshar.
On a dry track. There you go. You can see it. First ball held up and there was turn. So you can tell that the spinners are going to be more than a handful on this track.
He's not a big turner of the ball, but he tends to sort of undercut it. But he's a more than useful left arm spinner. Uses the crease brilliantly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. His undercutter becomes a very dangerous delivery.
Well done. That is a good shot. One bounce for 4. Pounced on just a little bit short. But Nisanka was quick to play that shot.
Error in length there from Akshar Patel. Trying to pitch the ball slightly back of a length, but for someone like Pathum, that was more short and picked it up beautifully. And on this track, on these kind of tracks, you always want to keep your weight a little bit more ready to go pounce on the back foot to score runs, because it holds up on the wicket. So you may not have a lot of purchase on the front foot as a batter, but on the back foot, it's going to be runs galore.
See, when you look at the pace Akshar bowled, he started at 81, but then he started to increase his pace. This is that boundary. But on a surface where we speak of being dry and will respond to spin, we do know that the pace you bowl is so critical. Oh, that's what we are talking about. You could see that. Now, let's take a look at the pace he bowled. That's still 92, but look at the turn and bounce.
Yeah, and that's the thing about someone like Akshar Patel. He can be really deceptive, bowl those undercutters, but when you anticipate the undercutters, you can see that it pitched very close to the rough as well. Roshan's asking me, how do you play that? You don't play that. You just let it be. 32 for 1 after 9.
Right, 32 for 1. Already 41 dots in the Sri Lankan innings. Tells you how much the Sri Lankan batters have been challenged. Dube, Shivam Dube, he's got 40 wickets. Best of 3 for 21. That's a list A career we're talking about. Still very useful. It's not express by any means, but useful.
Yeah, he is medium pace, Shivam Dube. But, you know, the value he brings in as a batter and the fact that he can bowl, it's a rare commodity in India. And which is why he finds himself in this ODI squad. He's got a long way to go as a bowler, though. There's a period in his career where he wasn't bowling as much.
This is just his second game, his first since 2019. So it's been a tough little ride for him to get into this side.
He has grown a lot as Shivam Dube beautifully moved off the seam there, that one. Again, he'll want to pitch the ball up as much as possible because that's what's going to be hard for the batters to score off. The batters, I think, would be ready more for the short ball so that they can take advantage because he's not express pace.
See, I also have some interesting information about Kusal Mendis. Now, generally, since 2022 in the power plays, his strike rate is in the mid-70s. So that's how he generally bats. But today, it shows you the struggle he's going through.
Well, I think it's not as much as confidence as much as it is the wicket. I think the wicket is one that doesn't necessarily suit his game. A lot of opening batters and top order batters like the ball to come onto the bat.
It's been a good over. This has really been a very good over.
Yeah, and how do you not let him settle down? Should be the thinking that Sri Lankan batters have, because they've just seen off a very good spell from two of the fast bowlers with the new ball. He's got a batting average of 37.5. He's got bowling average slightly higher, 40. He's got 40 wickets though.
That's a wide. Now you do see plenty of young cricketers coming through. I mean, obviously they've seen a career pathway, they see an opportunity here. So how do you see India progressing from here in terms of competition for places? You could see this, I mean, these are not, some of them are not first choice, but they're putting their hands up and the way they're playing. Obviously it's a very positive headache the selectors are having at the moment.
Yeah, certainly positive one.
I know I'm stating the obvious, but I like you to expand a little bit more on that. That's another wide.
It is a... Oh, I think it's a little harsh. Must have been slightly inside that line, I think. But it is a good problem to have for the selectors, for everyone. And, you know, the competition is and has been very healthy. I reckon that's a tough one. Don't think it was a wide. And I think the competition in that sense has, you know, has spurred the players to actually think a little beyond being one-dimensional. Go. And because they have to be more than one-dimensional now, they have to become exceptional fielders, and they have to roll their arm over and bring in that second dimension into their game. And if they are just a batter, it's either you come on as a batter who can bowl or a batter who can wicket keep. And if you come in as a bowler, you come in as a bowler who can tonk a few. Today, Arshdeep Singh, for example, when he came into the scene, you know, it wasn't great, it wasn't much of a batter, similar to Jasprit Bumrah, and today both of them can tonk a few sixes. It actually pushes the players to become more than they are, which is actually good. It's the end of the over, 37th one.
Experience chameleon. How do you rate these neighbours?
I don't rate them. Can't believe he's still asleep. He's gone full bear mode.
Ugh, we've got to get our own place.
Now that I can help with. Checking and improving your credit score on Experian can help you get mortgage ready. Boom! You're now using the UK homeowners' most trusted credit score provider.
Nice!
You know the score. So before you do mortgages, do Experian first.
The power play is done and dusted. 37 for 1. Sri Lanka has negotiated a fairly tough little period of time. Turn, some persistency in bowling. Akshar Patel bowled a very good first over. He found turn and also bounce. The surface, not the best. See, just a point I want to bring up with you, because you're opening batter, you're top order batter, wicket keeper. Now, on a surface like this, where you see that the ball tends to turn and there's so much of natural variations, almost from the same spot. So what do you do, maybe as a wicket keeper? Do you like that? So now this is confirming my point. Do you read him off the hand, or how do you play?
As in for me, I try and keep things as simple as possible. I watch the hand for as long as I can, and then I trust my instincts. So I try and stay as behind the ball as possible to kind of gather the ball while I'm wicket keeping. When I'm batting, I try and stay as disassociated as I can from the result of each delivery. I'm very clear about what my scoring options are, and the ball presents itself in those scoring options. I try and capitalize on that. And if he bowls a good ball and beats me like the previous ball did, I wouldn't think about it at all. I'd be like, it's fine. I'm okay with me getting beaten like that once in a while. Because if you get affected by being beaten like that by a good delivery, which not many batters can do too much about, then it'll impact how you play your next delivery and how you go about batting the rest of your innings. So you want to stay as disassociated as possible from the result of each delivery, especially on these kind of tracks.
Now, how easily is it done? I know it is tough, because it's about again a little swish. See, we speak about it a lot, but how easy is it to try and associate it?
Well, it's not easy, certainly not. And you can see that Akshar has spotted that spot there created by Arshdeep Singh, and he's trying to exploit that. So he's tossing it and trying to hit that area as much as possible. But Pathum Nissanka is approaching it the right way. He's trying to play that delivery on the back foot. Now that ball didn't turn. He would have actually got a little bit of bat on that. Maybe beat point, shot third man there, right and left of point, and those are runs. But if you get beaten by it, forget about it. Next ball. Step away, take a few breaths, come back, hit refresh and come back.
See, that's what he did, I think. Didn't turn, so he had the space to play that shot. 39 for 1.
Experian Chameleon. How do you rate these neighbours?
I don't rate them. Can't believe he's still asleep. He's gone full bear mode.
Ugh, we've got to get our own place.
Now that I can help with. Checking and improving your credit score on Experian can help you get mortgage ready. Boom! You're now using the UK homeowner's most trusted credit score provider.
Nice!
You know the score. So before you do mortgages, do Experian first.
$39 for 1. It's been a grind. It's been tough. Let me tell you, it's not an easy surface, and it was a good toss for Sri Lanka to win. Now they need to capitalize on that toss.
Well, it depends on also how much dew comes on, if it's going to be a good call or not. But from the looks of it, Roshan, I think it's going to be a slow, low-scoring game. I think anything above 220 should be considered a very good score on this track.
See, and how much would the spinners really be a challenge? Now, we do have medium pacers bowling. We do see spinners. Now, India could bowl 30 overs of spin.
And they will bowl 30 overs of spin from how I see it going at the moment. They still have Kuldeep in. They have Washington Sundar. They will utilize these spinners in tandem. And I reckon they will bowl 28 to 30 overs.
See, Washington made an interesting point after that last T20 game when we spoke to him. Just asked him about bowling in the power plays and bowling in that game, and he just said, on that surface, I only needed to drop it in the right place, and the surface was going to take care of it. So this surface is not very far from that.
No, absolutely not. It's very, very, very close. I would say almost as similar as the previous one in Palekele. It's you just have to hit the right areas as a bowler. You'll always ask the right questions. And even the fast bowlers, the medium pacers, even like Sham Dubey, ball pitched up, it's not going to be easy to score runs off.
That's fine, Tickle. That's a welcome boundary. That's the first boundary for Mendes, and it's been
glance away for 4 and be a big relief for him, make him feel like, okay, I'm getting into this right now.
Yeah, we did speak about how much spin will play a role here, but then it's also important that there is control in those bowling.